In 2018, the office dealt with fluctuating but still strong demand for EU trademarks and designs, while its workload in cooperation activities and aspects of enforcement continued to grow. The surge in demand for trademarks and designs in the first quarter was followed by a period of slower growth. This meant the office ended the year with just over 152,000 EU trademark applications, representing an increase of 4.13% compared with 2017. Around 108,000 designs were received, which is 2% down on the previous year. Germany continued to be the largest filing country, followed by the United States, but growth in interest from China meant that users from that country were the third largest filing group for EU trademarks and the fourth largest for designs.
In 2018, we have seen a definite presence of East Asian applicants among the larger filers. We can say that from the top users that we have here in the European trademark system, the first was a French-based, but the second and the third were from China and South Korean, respectively.
Meanwhile, the workload in other areas of the office's activities continued to grow, and the strategic plan progressed well ahead of schedule. Building on the principles of collaborative organisation and international cooperation, the office's strategic goals continued to be delivered by a large number of individual activities organised under 6 mutually supporting lines of action. There was a continuous effort to support staff and to provide them with the environment and the advanced digital tools needed to succeed in a fast-changing world. Recruitment continued in line with the office's needs, making use of the reserve lists from the competitions run the previous year in collaboration with the European Personnel Selection Office. By the end of the year, the office welcomed its 1,000th member of statutory staff. A new learning policy was developed to support a highly skilled and professional workforce. Internal communication and social dialogue were reinforced, and the office launched a mentoring programme.
My idea when I joined this mentoring programme was to be able to benefit from a senior manager's experience and knowledge, and also for extending or expanding the networking, my networking in the office and meeting someone from a different department.
The built environment further improved with the completion and the occupation of the new building, which continued the drive towards an environmentally friendly and sustainable campus supported by a modern digital infrastructure. In parallel, the office's social policy continued to invest in the future of IP by offering on-the-job training and work experience to talented young graduates from all over the EU.
I'm from a tiny island in the Pacific where we have a lot of great value that is not exploited yet, and I hope that I will get enough experience here to go back home and educate people about IP.
Coming here, it's just perfect place to develop myself and to get a good training and be ready for future.
Building on a skilled and adaptable workforce supported by a quality environment, the office has continued to implement new ways of working that are delivering more efficient and effective services to users. Digital transformation continued with further improvements to the existing systems and developments of new ones, mainly focusing on extending the EUIPO's back office. The office also reached agreement with the Translation Centre to support a transformation programme using the latest technology and management systems to help maintain them as a supplier of choice for the future. Interactive Collaborative Examination, or ICE, which combines teamworking with digital transformation, was extended to cover a wide range of examination proceedings, supported by a number of helper tools. The office's service charter results show that timeliness of the main products and services remains under control and good quality is being delivered. Most users report that they are satisfied with the products and the services they receive. However, it's clear that smaller users in particular would like the office to go further. In response, the office has been expanding efforts to give users a greater role in determining what is really important to them in terms of quality through initiatives such as the Stakeholder Quality Assurance Panels.
It's very useful for our members to be able to predict some decisions, if they can make an informed decision of whether or not to oppose, if they know what the outcome can be, it's relevant for their business on a daily basis.
The Stakeholder Quality Assurance Panels are one example of how the office's decision-making is becoming more transparent. These panels complement numerous interactions with users and other stakeholders, efforts to make operations more accountable through the activity-based management system, detailed reporting, and further development of the transparency portal. Work with the European Union Intellectual Property Network under the European Cooperation Projects, or ECPs, continue to generate benefit for users and offices through the introduction of common practices and tools. As a result of the continuous cooperation between EUIPO and the national and regional intellectual property offices of the EU, the extension of the front and the back office has continued in 2018. The front office is considered the standard in trademark and design filing in the EU, with 21 offices already in production. The back office is also operational in 12 intellectual property offices across the EU, and during 2018, work on 5 more offices commenced. The common efforts on improving these tools have helped IP offices on 7 different occasions to make the necessary updates to be prepared for the changes required by the new directive. Moreover, the network has worked intensively on management systems, thanks to which 7 ISO 9001 implementations were completed. Convergence projects were launched, dealing with new types of trademarks and appeals, as well as a project building on the success of the Authenticities initiative to combat counterfeiting on the streets of EU cities. Offices were also assisted with the improvement of data quality for the flagship databases, which are contributing to the transparency of global registers.
I've been using TMU for a couple of years now, and I've seen the progress. So there have been a lot of developments, not just the addition of additional countries. And I'm actually quite confident that the office will take into consideration all the critical points that we point to as user associations.
Complementing the efforts to communicate the office's work and the importance of IP rights generally, the second edition of the Design Europa Awards took place in Poland, generating significant publicity for the registered community design and the contribution of designers generally.
The number 1 companies today in the world, including automotive, other industries, are defined by design. And still many people don't get it. So I'm thankful that I met those very few who really were willing to take the risk to do the crazy thing and really change things for the better.
The office's work implementing EU-funded projects in IP in third countries also grew in importance, with IP key projects underway in China, Southeast Asia and Latin America, and proposals to extend similar projects to Africa and the Caribbean in 2019.
Creemos que la propiedad intelectual es hoy en día un motor no solo de código legal, sino también de crecimiento económico, de innovación, de empleo, de creatividad.
In the observatory, a new technology watch was implemented, and work continued on improving understanding of SMEs and how to help them.
SMEs don't focus a lot on IP and IP rights in general, but I think it's something that they should actually pay more attention to. I think it's something that could create a lot of value. They definitely need help because it's a complicated area for SMEs to understand and navigate in.
Another highlight was the blockchain coding competition, Blockathon, which was run in partnership with the European Commission at the end of June. Trying to understand the attitudes and motivations of young people continued to be a priority, including working with education ministries to improve access to education resources on IP and to integrate understanding of IP rights in the key educational competences.
For all of us to know about the importance of IP is really important in our society, because we're the young ones who are going to be then leading on and making all this new creative work.
It is unknown to many people and is actually very influential on Europe and the whole world in trade. And I think it's a great experience for everyone with our school, not only our school, but for everyone to, have a further understanding of what goes on with IP and what it actually really is.
On enforcement, the office directly supported initiatives at Europol to combat counterfeiting and piracy, and worked to ensure good coordination between all agencies and DGs in charge of enforcement-related matters.
One of the major achievements of the office has been to reinforce the cooperation with Europol through IPC3 to support national law enforcement agencies in their daily fight against counterfeiting and piracy, and to protect intellectual property rights.
In October, the Council of the European Union appointed Christian Archambault as Executive Director of the office following the departure of Antonio Campinos to the European Patent Office. The same month, the office hosted a major conference on the future perspectives for trademarks and geographical indications, and began looking towards the next phase of its evolution. With SP 2020 expected to be completed 6 months ahead of schedule in mid-2020, planning for the next strategic plan got underway with the presentation of the implementation roadmap and the launch of consultation in December.
The agency is now in the moment of preparing its strategic plan, almost finalizing its strategic plan. We are in the moment when we were asked as a commission by the member states to prepare industrial program for EU. Industry will be important subject for the next commission, definitely. So that's why, and you cannot distinguish and you cannot detach industry from IPRs now and from trademark. So this cooperation is very much needed, and it must be very close, and it must be on daily basis, and must be in a very good spirit.
Cooperation will continue to be a major theme driving the office's strategy for the years ahead. The consultation for SP 2025 was based around strategic drivers, asking how we can put our networks to good use for a more joined-up IP system in a globalised economy, how we can further improve the services we provide to our users, and finally, how we can tackle the upcoming technological challenges and their expected impact on the future of businesses, society, and intellectual property.